Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Kevin here, top 1 financial advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. Today we found out that the economy added 517,000 new jobs, which generally for everybody is a good thing, unless your name is Dow Jones, aka the stock market. So today we need to discuss what this means for the market, what it could mean for the Federal Reserve and interest rates, and why some people are looking at this as a bad sign. So first off, if you are a normal person, adding 517,000 new jobs is a good thing because it gives you options as an employer. We saw a lot of unfortunate cuts, especially in the tech sector, and out of 500,000 jobs, I mean, it should be relatively easy to say, hey, look, it's unfortunate, it's not fun, I'm going to go over here and get decent pay, right? That is what most of us want. You can move forward, save, invest, and all those great things. Here's the thing though. For the investors and the companies that have to pay these people, that's not something that they necessarily enjoy. And the reason is, if there are so many job openings out there for me, I can say, look, I got 5 different job offers, and I can tell job 2, 3, and 4, the job 1 is willing to pay me more. So instead of a $100,000 salary, it can go to 125, 150, and they can start to outbid each other. What does that mean down the line? If companies have to pay more for employees, they are going to pass those costs off to who? Me and you, which means that what used to cost me $1 now costs me $2. That is the definition of inflation. And that is how all this stuff starts to cycle right back into the situation that we're in. Which means what? Well, if goods are costing more and there are plenty of jobs available, the Federal Reserve says, okay, well look, I'm going to keep rising or keep increasing interest rates. Last time, this week, they raised it, or increased it rather, by 0.25%. As they are absorbing this information and seeing that the job market is fine, unemployment is at a 50-year low, they're going to continue to raise interest rates until it changes, which is again, not really what you want, but we do have to bring costs down. And the cost of that, unfortunately, is going to be a weaker job market. Not necessarily inflation, a recession, that's what they're trying to avoid, but that is the pace and the thing that they're going to have to do. Now, I can't tell you that next month or the month after, if the Fed is going to go from 0.25% increases back to 0.5 or 0.75 or anything like that, but this is a concern for them because, again, you don't want to say, hey, everybody's got too many jobs and too many options and y'all getting paid too much. You don't want to say that, and I don't think that's necessarily the case, but they do need to slow it down because right now, none of y'all like paying 6.5% more than will be paid for something last year. And we have seen that, yes, this is working to a degree. It was 9% last year, around this time last year, now 6.5%. Their goal is to get it to 2%. Okay, they still have a long way to go between now and then, but this also gives us somewhat of I don't want to say a calendar or a schedule of what they might do. So right now, everything seems fine for the most part, right? 50-year low inflation, bunch of jobs out there, it's quote unquote okay. Well, they're going to have to continue to increase rates, which is probably going to make the stock market not so happy to a degree. And what I've been saying now for the better part of maybe 2 or 3 weeks now, the playbook is the same. Because when you really sit down and think about it, what's different for the stock market between this year and last year? Like, think about it. Still got Russia and Ukraine. Oil prices are oil prices. They've been fluctuating up and down depending on what day you're looking at it. Interest rates still going up. Job market is still pretty solid. What's changed? Right? So until that changes, right, the things I'm looking at are going to stay the same. So for investors, this isn't really a time to panic or really react. It's like, hey, you knew this already, right? I'm telling you now, until these things start to change, which again, I don't really want to. I want people to have more jobs and more options and all that type of stuff. But until stuff starts to change, it is what it is. What worked last year, especially that second half, as I said, I'm pretty sure at least once or twice this week, is still what's going to continue to happen this year. Now, we'll also take a look probably maybe early next week on Monday or so and really start to look into some of these numbers for earnings, because I saw that Apple saw a dip, I think it was a dip in revenue or something for the first time in like decades. So that's something we have to look at too. Remember yesterday's video I talked about paying attention to earnings. You want to pay attention to that because that's going to give us a sign of how much people are spending and what is going on right behind the side of consumer spending. Because consumer spending, makes up more than half of our economy, and we did spend 0.2% less in December. I don't know what it was for January. That number should come out here pretty soon. So there are a bunch of economic factors that you do want to pay attention to. But right now is not a time to react. Right now is not a time to panic. It's just time to sit back and say, okay, check my notes and just check that off and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. You just file this later so that when you're ready to make an investment decision, you kind of have this in your back pocket. So this is why, right, the stock market is upset about this, and then why the economy and the Fed is kind of acting the way that it is. But again, for us, for investors, not really a movement situation, not really a time to really jump on anything. There's no new hot stock tip or anything to jump into. It's just what was working last year, especially the second half. Just copy and paste right now, and it's really just a sitting down moment. For those who have been liking and subscribing to the video, especially those inside the members only, y'all know, right? Y'all know that a lot of what we talked about last year, and even the list we talked about last week, them working, right? Them things are working. So we're going to continue with those, and we're actually going to add a new video and give you a few more trading tips there as well. But that's what's going on in the economy and in the market right now. It's a lot of what we saw last year, but basically there are too many jobs, and I really hate saying that, but there are too many jobs. People are getting paid, quote unquote, too much, and that is another factor into inflation. It's not the biggest factor. Don't let people change the narrative between what it was, right, supply and demand, and COVID, which is what started this entire thing. Don't let it become, well, us individuals, people who have been underpaid for so long, that now we are the cause of our own inflationary issues. That is not the case. Now, could it become the case? I don't know, but right now that's not the case. But we do want to see a cooling or a weakening of the job scenario, and we want to bring consumer spending down just a bit, or at least the Fed wants to do that, to bring down inflation. So that is what's going on. However, if you want to learn more about investing, particularly what we are talking about in terms of what to look for and how to kind of manage yourself in this market, we have been releasing some hot fire inside of the members only, and we're going to talk about a new trading technique, or really it's an old trading technique with a new spin on it, and that will be releasing later today. So you definitely want to make sure that you join that. We do exclusive videos each and every week. All right, that is it for me. I'll talk to you later. Bye.